Hey guys, I welcome you all to my channel Ride with ZX10R. So this is the first time I'm shooting after changing my channel's name. So instead of saying welcome you all back, I have to say welcome. So once again, welcome guys. So today this is another video with my Ninja 300. So speaking about motorcycles, there are a lot of motorcycles on our market, and each motorcycle has a different purpose. So there are 100cc motorcycles which people use as their daily commuter for their job and other day-to-day uses, and there are also liter class motorcycles running on our market which people ride just for the purpose of riding. So a 100cc motorcycle cannot be ridden on a track, and you cannot use a 1000cc motorcycle to purchase something in your nearby shop. So every motorcycle has its own flaws and merits. Any single motorcycle cannot be a perfect motorcycle. With that being said, a thought came to my mind: what is a perfect motorcycle, and does my Ninja 300 fit into the category of a perfect motorcycle? So what I consider a perfect motorcycle is something which serves various purposes of its user, and also a motorcycle which has enough features and is a reliable one. So today let me tell you why I consider the Ninja 300 a perfect motorcycle. So the first thing is the multi-purpose usability of the Ninja 300. You can use it as your daily commute, just like a 100cc motorcycle. You can also ride it on track like a liter class motorcycle. You can take it for a weekend ride and have some fun, and even you can fasten a saddlebag on the Ninja 300 and go for a cross-country tour for 3 or 4 days. So it serves multiple purposes. I don't have to have one motorcycle for my office use and another for my other purposes. So here the Ninja scores a 10 out of 10. The next thing which I have to speak about is the reliability of the Ninja 300. This may be a small motorcycle, but I have to say this motorcycle is built like a tank. The Ninja 300 is one good reliable motorcycle, and trust me, in my 8+ years of ownership, I was never stranded on road waiting for a mechanic. And I have taken this motorcycle to places where no sane man would take his motorcycle, and this motorcycle has never let me down. Reliability is a characteristic of a perfect motorcycle, and the Ninja 300 is one good reliable motorcycle, and there is no denying it. The next thing which I am going to talk about is the handling of this motorcycle. Handling in the sense, be it on a perfect tarmac like this, or roads with potholes, or external factors like rain, heavy crosswind, hot and cold climatic conditions. I have ridden this motorcycle in all those conditions which I mentioned just now. Only riding in the snow is pending on my bucket list, and I have to say this motorcycle handles all these conditions exceptionally well. Be it on bad roads, be it on off roads, be it on good roads, wherever I drive this motorcycle has good handling. To explain it in detail, let me tell you something. This motorcycle was launched in 2013 in India, and I purchased this motorcycle in 2014, back when anti-lock braking system was not compulsory for motorcycle above 150cc in India. So this motorcycle is not equipped with any anti-lock braking system. So in the tenure of my ownership, quite a few times I have locked my rear wheel due to hard braking, and each and every time the motorcycle never fishtailed, and even when the rear wheels are locked and scraping the road, the Ninja 300 does that in a straight line. The motorcycle never fishtails, and it is very stable even when the rear wheels are locked. That is how good this motorcycle is. The next thing which I took into consideration is the maintenance of the vehicle. So any good motorcycle which has a very high maintenance cost cannot be considered as a perfect motorcycle. The Ninja 300 is very easy to maintain. I won't say it is very cheap to maintain the Ninja 300. The parts are pretty costly, but the parts are of very good quality and they last long. The chain and sprocket set of the Ninja 300, which is pretty costly, does last at least 30,000 kilometers. And the other wearables like brake pad and the other things also last long enough, and we don't have to replace them frequently. So before finishing, let me add up one more thing. So any motorcycle, to be a perfect motorcycle, should be long lasting in the market. So if a good vehicle doesn't last in the market for more than 2 or 3 years, we cannot consider it as a perfect motorcycle. And the motorcycle should also reinvent itself and get updated according to the changing times. So let us see how well the Ninja 300 has fared here. So in India, the Ninja 300 was launched way back in 2013, and at that time the motorcycle was costing somewhere around 4 lakh rupees on road. And 1 year later, the KTM launched its Duke 390. The Duke 390 was more powerful than the Ninja 300 and was priced at around half the price of the Ninja 300. So the Ninja 300 faced pretty tight competition from the KTM Duke, and I think 1 or 2 years later, the KTM launched its RC 390, the fully fed version of the 390cc motorcycle, and that too was priced somewhere around 1 to 1.5 lakhs less than the price of the Ninja 300. And another 2 years later down the market, Yamaha launched its R3, which was in direct competition with the Ninja 300. The R3 was also more powerful and was priced less. So by 2018, in the 300cc segment in India, the Ninja 300 was the most costliest motorcycle and the least powerful one. And a few years later, even Kawasaki launched its own Ninja 300 killer, the Ninja 400. And almost 9 years later, the Yamaha R3 has been discontinued. The KTM has to launch its 125cc and 250cc versions of the KTM to stay in the market, and the Ninja 300 is still standing tall. So here I have to say the Ninja 300 has beaten the test of time and has been standing in the market for almost a decade now. Also, talking about the upgrades the Ninja 300 has gone through years, I have to say here I am a little bit disappointed. Most of the changes are cosmetic changes, and one good thing I believe which Kawasaki did with the Ninja 300 was raising the ground clearance of the 300. In a lot of videos of my channel, I have told that the 300's ground clearance was one of the major headaches for me with the 300. This 300 has just 135 mm of ground clearance, and it scrapes almost all the speed breakers on our Indian roads. And now Kawasaki has put an end to that problem also. The newer versions of the Ninja 300s have a ground clearance of 145 mm. With that being said, the Kawasaki Ninja 300 has every right to be called as a perfect motorcycle, and my 8.5 years ownership with this motorcycle is a living testament to that. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. See you all once again in another video.